We are required to conduct an interview on the differences between Turkish and Standard English for this assignment. 2 Turkish interviewees have been selected for the session. We deliberated on which countries we wanted to interview before settling on these individuals. Introduce yourself to Mr. Mehmet Aydin, a native of Anatolia. He was employed as a tour guide by one of the group members and is currently in Turkey. Mustafa Bozdemir of Kayseri is the next speaker. He is now pursuing a master's degree in Islamic financial management in Malaysia. ADLI SYAHMI, a group member, is a social media friend of Mustafa. We are interested in learning how native English speakers feel about English growing worldwide influence. Additionally, we are curious in how both speakers pronounce the 5 words we chose. This interview introduces us to the phonological, grammatical, and lexical characteristics of the localized variety of English. They are subject to one-on-one interview when questioned about their availability. The speakers respond to Turkish English and Standard English is different. Mehmet said Turkish English is distinct from American English. Thus, the tone and pronunciation vary everywhere. He also claims Malaysians speak English differently. Mehmet also says he doesn't comprehend Malaysian English lingo. In Turkey, English is not everyone's first language. Due to the language barrier, many Turks feel afraid to connect with foreigners and prefer to converse in their mother tongue. Mehmet said he could not tell the difference between Irish and Standard English, but he could comprehend American English since he works for an international firm with many foreign visitors. He has dealt with numerous American visitors and so learned their vernacular. The speaker claims that Turkic languages are spoken from the Balkans to the Arctic Ocean. It comprises West Turkestan, Russia, east of the Caspian Sea, and East Turkestan, North China beyond the Tian Shan. The northern region includes Western Russia and Northern Siberia. Due to recent industrial migration to Western Europe, several Western European countries speak Turkish or Turkic languages. After World War I, the Ottoman Empire crumbled, leaving Turkey in ruins. Several European nations claimed it and divided it. That's when Mustafa Kemal, the founder of Turks, stepped in. Atatürk spearheaded the Turkish Republic's foundation. What does this have to do with Turkish language learning? Quite a lot, actually. To construct a modern Turkey, Atatürk prohibited head coverings and Arabic script. He contended that adopting Latin script would bring his new country into the 20th century. English grew in Turkey in 1950s. The speaker adds, as American economic and military might grew. English surpassed French in diplomacy, education, the arts, literature, and even the Turkish language reform and purity movement. Turkey was urged to study English to boost commercial and technical ties. According to Tollefson, 1991, the economic and military strength of English-speaking countries as well as the emergence of global economic market has led to the expansion of English into significant political and economic institutions worldwide. Modernization is the process of globalizing English. The Turkish administrations soon embraced English and gave it preference over the other foreign languages to modernize and westernize.
The following section discusses the phonological, grammatical, and lexical components of the speaker's country's localized form of English. And what we have found is that Turkish is a tough language for natural English speakers. The Anglo-Saxons entered England first and then the French, bringing their languages with them. Turkish is a separate language and it is connected to Azeri, Turkmen, Uzbek, and Kazakh languages. So, based on our study on Turkish grammar and Turkish English usage, speaker once said that it depends on the individual. He mentioned that it depends on the person's education. If someone has only completed high school, there is no middle ground. A non-English speaker might say, "My sister teacher." However, "my sister is a teacher" is said by the native English speakers. So that is how we differentiate Standard English and also Turkish English. The following one is how speakers describe their relationship to English, localized English, and other native languages in their family's repertoire. And according to the first speaker, which is Mehmet, his family members never employ code mixing or code switching. According to the speakers, most Turks never mix English and Turkish in a sentence. Sadly, most Turks are uninterested in learning other languages. Because English is taught as a second language in every Turkish school, many people have basic English skills. So indeed, many Turks could readily communicate in English. And many people in Western Turkish cities like Istanbul, Ankara, and Izmir speak basic English, although not all. So for the fourth question is, does the use of English challenge local linguistic norms or attitudes? And according to the speaker one, the world's most widely spoken language is English. It is the most widely spoken language. Globalization has revolutionized the world in the last 40 until 50 years. Many new phrases have lately been invented and are widely used. But not all countries can adjust to rapid language interaction. Therefore, Standard English is not universal. As an example, computer was utilized. Every country says computer, but in Turkish they say bilgisayar. The ancient phrase is still used in Turkey.
Now we're moving on to the next speaker, Mr. Mustafa Bozdemir. Findings that we have gotten from the speaker 2 regarding the speaker's reaction towards the expanding power of English locally in the respective country and globally. Overall, during the interview, he does not expect to respond when he meets someone who speaks Standard English in Turkey. He stated that it was usual when someone spoke Standard English. Even though they speak Turkish, they are proficient in English. This is because Turkey is one of the most popular tourist destinations in the world. Every year, tourists from all around the world arrive and influence local businesses to speak Standard English. For the next question, regarding the history, development, influence, and current progress or use of English language at the speaker's respective country. According to the speaker, it does not affect much regarding the Turkish language, much as we are moving on forward and a lot of Turkish will speak the English language eventually. It is estimated that Turkey was spoken 3,000 years ago in modern-day Mongolia, an area where the Chinese language has a significant impact. With the advent of Ottoman Empire and other linguistic reforms, Turkish assimilated European, mostly French, vocabulary and became the Turkish language we know today. In today's globe, there are about 75 million people who use Turkish as a first language. The speaker personally does not think that the expanding power of English locally in the respective country and globally as a threat that might reshape the speaker's culture. The third one covers the phonological, grammatical, and lexical components of the speaker's country's localized English. We studied Turkish English grammar, now connecting verbs like is or are, for instance, you jogging. It is pointless to spend weeks learning how to conjugate is or are in all its forms and tenses. We checked with the second speaker to see whether they agree. Instead of my sister is a teacher, the second speaker said my sister a teacher. Since they speak English, they utilize is or are for the accent. Again, he asserted that Standard English and Turkish English had different grammar as well as pronunciation of words.
So today I will be explaining or summarizing the question 4.2.4, 4.2.5 and the conclusion. So for 4.2.4, the question was how do the speakers how do the speakers characterize their own relation to English, the localized version of English, and other native or foreign language in their own family. So according to speakers 2, Mustafa, he has indeed performed code mixing within his family. For example, that he has stated is when he asked for an apple during with his family, he would say like, can I have that elma? Elma being apple in Turkish. So I can say it really depends on the individual. So for Mustafa himself, he did code mixing. He did the code mixing behavior with his family. So for question 5, to what extent does the use of English language challenge the local norms or the attitude about the language? So English is currently the universal language where countries around the world have accepted it as the most language being used. We can see English being used in every country, including in the Southeast Asia or in the Europe or up north. So according to Mustafa himself, our speaker number 2, he did not have any troubles with English language itself, though he did mention that other locals in Turkey may have come and faced some kind of obstacles towards them since they only use their mother tongue. And when they come across a foreigner who speak language, they did find it quite hard for them to communicate. So, and also English varies in all kind of different slang, so it may be hard for all these Turkish to communicate with them. So in the end, most of them would change from verbal ways of communicating to non-verbal ways of communicating. So the conclusion of this whole project is that Turkish language or the Turkey culture itself is one of the longest, or I would say the oldest culture in the world. So according to most of the speakers, they believe the invasion of English language into their culture would not possess some kind of threat or harm towards their culture or their language. So we can see that they only use or adapt with this kind of speaking or this language in order for them to expand their economy, especially in the tourism aspect. So yeah, that's all from me. Thank you.
Hello, thank you for spending your time with us today. We're doing the assignment for variety of English language, which is we want to differentiate between standard English and Turkish English. So we have chosen Sir as our interviewee. So we will ask several questions regarding the use of English language between standard English and Turkish English.
All right. I am ready to reply you all questions. I hope I can do my best.
All right, thank you. Faisal.
You're welcome.
Sir, may you introduce yourself first?
Sorry?
Could you please introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Mehmet. Mehmet Aydın, M-E-H-M-E-T. This is like Turkish Muhammad, and most using name in Turkey. In Turkey, more than 2 million Mehmet, and the population is 80 million. So if you had a friend and you forgot his name, you can try Mehmet. Nur, probably you know this joke every time I do this.
Yes.
I am working as a tour guide. Sometimes I see your mouth and I don't hear. I hope you speak or not, I don't know. But I didn't hear you now. So I am working as a tour guide in Turkey. Mostly from people from Asia, Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam. My company is the biggest company, incoming company we welcome our guests from usually from the Asia. That's why I have a lot of friends in Asia, like Nur and her family. I am married, 36 years old.
Wow.
This is my proof.
They're so cute. They're so
This is
sweet.
my proof for my marriage. So I was working in Istanbul. This is the, as you know, most popular city in Turkey, and usually all tourists from all around the world comes first to Istanbul. Normally my hometown is different city, but I was working in Istanbul. But because of pandemic, we came back to our hometown nearby our parents. So after pandemic, I hope, inshallah, we are going to come back to our work again.
Yes.
So is there anything you exactly want to learn about me? I am a typical Turkish guy, as you see, mustache, beard, but charming.
Okay, this question.
We're going to ask Sir a few questions. So I'm going to pass the question to my friends. He is going to ask you the first question. Adi, you may start your question.
Sure.
The first question
Okay.
is, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, now I hear you.
Okay. So the first question is, how do you react with an English speaker who speaks standard English?
Okay.
How do I react?
Okay, for this question, it's like when you hear like people who from United States, they're speaking English, which is it's a little bit different from Turkish English. How do you react? Do you speak their language or do you speak Turkish language with them? I mean, like in way Turkish people speak in English.
Yes, of course, because of our our language style and English language style is different, and our voices also going out different. So the tone is different, sound is different. That's why in all around the world, of course, Malaysian English also I hear different. Of course, Turkish English is different. Sometimes, for example, I don't understand. Actually, Malaysian people much more knowing English than Turkish people. And exactly, there is in Turkey, people exactly don't know much English. And local people usually, when they see the foreign people, they surprised and they are just shy. And when I see a foreign who speak English, I don't know what kind of answer I need to give, but this guy is speaking American English. For example, I can understand, for example, English. Maybe I cannot understand Irish English between English,
Yes.
but mostly American English has a difference between English. So I can understand, but most people cannot understand in Turkey. Because I work in tourism and I can see this kind of people because I work in tourism, as I told.
Okay, sir. I'm going to ask the second question, which is there any verb usage in Turkish English, and how do you communicate and differentiate the usage of verb in Turkish language and standard English? Which is, we have done some research, which is, for example, if we're using standard English, we pronounce it like my sister is a teacher. But when we have done some research that Turkish doesn't use verb, which is they just directly say my sister teacher. Is that correct, or you guys still using the same verb usage as standard English?
I see. So it depends on a person. If the education of the person is just in high school, or maybe some of them is so there is no midpoint. If he is in the high school, according to me, after high school, just try to say what he wants to say.
Okay.
For example, he or she doesn't know English. My sister teacher. Try to converse.
Yes.
But some of them
Aku faham apa
know
yang
English very well, for example, or he think he knows very well.
Yes.
My sister is teacher. He doesn't want to say that word, and he think I know English better.
Oh, that's a good thing. Yeah.
But mostly people, of course, know to use that verbs in English. Like, of course, I use also that kind of verbs. Like, of course, when you ask me like that, I could tell you my sister is a teacher.
Yeah, understood. Okay. The next one, I'm going to pass the question to my friends.
So, hi sir, can you hear me?
A little bit louder, please.
So I'm going to ask you, do you think that the standard English will harm the Turkish culture? And why do you think so?
Turkish English. So in our life, of course, all languages all around the world under the pressure of English, because this is the international language mostly people accept, and that's why especially last 40 years 50 years, according to me, the world is changed after computer, internet, and the technology is really high. That's why everything almost last 40 years the new things comes from English language to understand these new things. So that's why so some countries don't convert a new word for their own language. So they use that words, like computer. All around the world, computer is like in every language computer. But in Turkish language, we call bilgisayar. We convert it to our language. But there are many languages we couldn't convert, maybe.
Yeah, understood.
Is this your answer?
Yes.
Okay. Mehmet, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
So for the next question, do you perform code mixing while conversing with your family members at home? Could you elaborate?
No, please slow. Please slow, because of internet, the voice is getting mixed like. So. Yeah, I understand.
Do you perform code mixing while conversing with your family members at home? Could you elaborate more and give examples of code mixing that you always use?
Okay, for code mixing, it's like you're speaking Turkish and you add English in your daily conversation when you are conversing with your family members. Is that, or you speak fully Turkish language, or you add English, some a little bit of usage of English in your daily conversation? No. So,
No, exactly. All the things are Turkish. So there is no exactly grammar effect to our language. So Turkish language is one of the oldest language in the history, as you know. So we have also separate alphabet, actually, our own alphabet. But we don't use this alphabet for thousands of years.
Okay.
So the first, I am a tour guide. That's why I am going to give some information about history.
Sure. Yeah.
Maybe you know already, but so the first settlement of Turkish people is to North China among Mongolia. So some Turkish families are staying there still, Uyghur Turks. So Kazakhstan, some countries, these are also Turkish families, but different families. So some of them settled there, some of them migrated to Anatolia. Anatolia means Little Asia, the east part of Turkey, we call Anatolia. So some of them, we came to do Anatolia, some of them stay in there. So that's why from Turkey to the China, there are many Turkish countries. Turkey, Azerbaijan, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, Kazakhstan, north side of Turkey, Uyghur, maybe you heard, under the pressure of China. So there are many Turkish families. So these are all was using in the main language. Their main language is Turkish language. And this family, Ottomans, before Ottoman Seljuk Empire, migrated to the Anatolian side, so west part of Asia. So they made a war with Arabs to the China. So after this war, they had a good relationship between Arabs. And when they realized their religion and our religion similar. So we also believe in one God before Islam. So they also believe in one God, Allah. So after that, in 8th century, Turkish peoples started to believe in Allah in 8th century. After the 10th century, we started to use their alphabet. We speak Turkish, but we write Arabic. Understand?
Yes.
In 10th century, after 10th century, Seljuk Turks migrated to Anatolia, as I mentioned. So Ottoman Empire founded in 13th century. From 13th century to 20th century, we speak, of course, Ottoman Turkish, and we write Arabic alphabets, as you see, 100 years. So we don't write our own alphabet. So in the end of 20th century, the Ottoman Empire ended and we found Turkish Republic, as you know. So after the establishment of Turkish Republic, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk convert our alphabet to Latin alphabet. So we are writing now A, B, C, D, F, G. Of course, we call different, but we write Latin alphabet. But we still speak, of course, Turkish. So that's why. So the effect of English language in our language just according to me, last 40 years, because of technology and the life, the new words just came to our language as a word. So we use different kind of words from not only Turkish language, because Ottoman was the empire. There was French people, Jewish people, Greek people, Turkish people were living together. That's why there are many words we use from their culture. There are, you can, so for example, in Europe, Greece, why I'm talking like this much, I don't know. Sorry. In Greece, Hungary, Bulgaria, Romania, these all countries, in their language, there are many Turkish language, because under the control of Ottoman Empire, you know. 100 words you can find in their language now. So because of, but these countries was under the control of Ottoman Empire. That's why they had many words Turkish. But because of that, but nowadays, as I told you, last 40 years, according to me, because of technology and new life, new words came to all language, culture and language.
Okay.
That's it.
Oh yeah. I'm going to proceed with our last question. We have prepared five words in English, and we want to hear how you pronounce these words using Turkish slang. Is that okay, sir? Okay.
Sure.
Okay. The first word is water. How do you pronounce in Turkish?
Water.
Okay. The next one is fire.
Fire.
The third one is rainy.
Rainy.
Okay, the fourth one is support.
Support.
And the last one is sport.
Last one is
Sport.
fork.
Sport. S-P-O-R-T. Sport.
Sport. Yes. Okay. Sport.
Oh, okay. We have asked all of the questions that we have prepared. Thank you for spending your time for today. We're so grateful that we have such a friendly Turkish that so we could like conversing in comfortable situation without having like intense conversation with you. We're so thankful for that. Other member, do you have anything to say to him? Yes, you may say what.
When are you coming to Malaysia?
Sure. Inshallah. So thank you guys, of course, and Nur. I also very happy to meet you and joining this interview. I hope I was helpful for this interview. If you come to Turkey, you have a friend.
Yes.
Anytime, please contact with Nur, and of course I can do my best. And I wish you a succeed study life.
Alright, thank you.
Teşekkürler Mehmet.
Alright, thank you. That's all for us.
Teşekkürler.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Very good evening to you. We are very thankful that you are willing to spend your time with us today to have a interview session about Turkish English and Standard English. Okay, so basically we have 5 questions, and I'm going to pass this to ADLI so that he will be asking you the first question.
Okay, so before I start, would you please introduce yourself? Mus,
Yes,
before I start, would you please introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Mustafa. I'm from Turkey. I'm 20 years old, and currently I'm studying in MSU, Management and Science University.
Okay, so the first question is, how do you react with an English speaker who speaks standard English?
I don't think I have a reaction to that, like a severe reaction. I find it normal.
Oh, okay. If you find it normal, if you have find any like weird situation when you hear someone who is talking Turkish and standard, it's just like you don't have any reaction to that kind of conversation.
Yes, I can say that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will be proceeding with question number 2.
Okay, I'm going to ask question number 2, which is there any verb usage in Turkish English and how you communicate and differentiate the usage of verb in Turkish English and standard English? My question is because we have done some research, which is in Turkish English they don't say verb. For example, in standard English, we say like my sister is a teacher, but in Turkish, they say my sister teacher without saying is or are. Is that correct, or are you guys still using that, or just talking using slang? But for example, I mean like you guys still using is or are.
Well, when it comes to Turkish language itself, we don't usually use is or are. When it comes to the things that you said, like my sister is a teacher, yeah, we don't actually put is there when we're talking in Turkish. But when it comes to the accent itself, the Turkish accent, usually we do put is and are because we're talking the English language itself. Yeah, that's about it. And I don't think there are, when we're talking about Turkish and English itself, grammar-wise, we're not using the same grammar. It's usually like, if I can give an example, where, let me think of an example, give me a second.
Okay, just take your time.
Well, it's like, where sometimes in English we go like, this is a pencil, right? And in Turkish, it's more like, it's a pencil, not this is a pencil.
Ah, okay, that's a good knowledge for us. Knowledge sharing for us today. Okay, for the third question, I'm going to pass this to my friends NURLYIANA, SHAMIMIE. She will be asking you the third question.
Okay, so for the third question, I want to ask you, do you think that the standard English will harm the Turkish culture? And why do you think so?
For that question, I don't think the English language or the culture itself will harm Turkish culture, because Turkish culture is very old. It's coming from the, I think, 1900s probably, or 19300s, I'm not sure, but it's quite long, and historical wise it's everywhere around the world too, starting from Kazakhstan or places there up north. And so a language wouldn't give any harm to its Turkish culture at all, in my opinion.
Oh, so it's like it doesn't affect any like culture. It's just like a common language that Turkish always speak, right?
Exactly. Culture-wise, it doesn't affect Turkish culture at all. But language-wise, well, furthermore, I mean, if we look at the future, if in Turkey everyone starts to speak English, would it harm Turkish culture? I don't think it will harm Turkish culture, but it could harm the Turkish language itself. That's my opinion.
Okay, so for the fourth question, do you perform code mixing whilst conversing with your family members at home? Could you elaborate more and give examples of code mixing that you always use?
That one, yes, that happens with me all the time actually. Something like, let's say if I'm watching YouTube, and usually I watch YouTube in English. And so the thing with people who know multiple languages that I think you guys can agree on this topic with me is that, when you're talking, let's say I'm talking English with you guys, and if someone talks Turkish beside me, I can't change my brain in that language to get to Turkish right away, so I have to like mix things, and it happens a lot with me and my family at house. It's something like, if I go to the kitchen and ask something from my mom, it's usually like, can I have an apple? But the apple, I say it in Turkish. The apple in Turkish is elma, so I go like, can I have an elma, please, or something like that.
Oh, okay. Right, that's a good thing. Okay, I'm going to ask the last question, which is, we have prepared 5 words, which is water, fire, rainy, support, and sport. We just want to hear how you pronounce using the Turkish slang. Is that okay?
Yes, that is okay.
Okay, the first word is water. How do you pronounce?
Water. In Turkish slang, it would be water.
Sorry? Can you please repeat
Water.
it? Okay. The second one is fire.
Fire.
The third one is rainy.
Rainy.
Okay, the fourth one is sport.
Sport.
The last one is sport.
Sport.
All right. We have come to the end of the interview session. Thank you for spending your time. We're so happy that we have completed our interview session for today. And you guys have anything to say to Mustafa?
I want to say thank you so much for having us today.
Thank you for sharing. We are really thankful.
Thank you for joining this meeting.
Thank you guys for inviting me. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mustafa, for spending your time. We'll see you in the future.
Bye.
Thank you, hopefully.
All right. Thank you.